They stated that it would happen. We're gonna see. We already, submitted our information. Well, I know some people have already submitted their information. That's great. If it follows through, that's awesome. But at the same time, if you have anything extra, literally, while it's paused, this is the best time to be paying on it. That's literally what I do, because if, he's only going to forgive up to $20,000, you got $30,000 left, this is the quickest time to pay it off. And this is consistency. All right, so here's the biggest thing that I did. I want to talk about today is how I paid off $73,000 worth of student loans. How I did this, I want to tell you this. How I was able to do this was two things. I got several different jobs. I lived below my means. And the third thing, interest rate pause, that definitely helped out. All right, so those three things. All right, so starting back in college, I only graduated college itself with around like $12,000 worth of student loans. Then I got into this place where I started to second guess my own. I didn't really have like strong mentors at that time to really mentor me or help give me any strong advice like career wise. So I was at this place where I was just trying to figure things out. And a lot of my, I would say quote unquote friends, not really my true friends, because they would have talked me out of it because of the reason why I was doing it. I started going to get their master's degrees and different things like that. And now, even looking back, I now understand the worth of a true friend. A true friend is going to be some individual that's going to speak out and totally understand who you are and where you're at that given moment, and they're going to tell you the truth no matter what. And I thank God so much that I really have friends like that now that would tell me, hey Lee, you're messing up. So at that time, I graduated with only $12,000 worth of debt, and went to college. And this is literally where the rest of my debt came, was in grad school. So I felt like I needed a master's degree to kind of prove my worth, prove that I was this highly educated individual and all these different things, and to prove my worth to my comrades that, hey, I'm worth hiring, which is the furthest thing from the truth, because now what the business itself and what I bring in, even on my teaching aspect job, I made way more than that, not even having to fulfill my master's degree. Yes. Okay. So great thing about it. I got to a place where I really didn't understand purpose. And I tell oftentimes individuals that I'm speaking to, hey, the great thing about college is 4 years for you to literally jump off the cliff and figure out what you want to do. So I totally believe that between 18 to honestly 28, 29, those are your prime years where you can take the most risk and nothing happens. Okay. But between 18 and 28, I really believe that you can take on as much risk as possible and just try to do things just to figure them out, because you have the luxury of time at that given moment. Now, I was at the place where I went to school. I ended up, having around $73,000 worth of debt. And when I got that bill to, finish out, because I only had like two semesters kind of finish out everything. I looked at the bill and I was like, yo, is this really worth it? I can quit now. And it was very hard for me because I'm not a quitter. I'm one of those type of individuals. Anything that I've done, I finished. So it was really hard for me to get to a place where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what's best for me. And I quit. I stopped. I really did into, hey, I know that I really want to be this creative filmmaker and tell stories. I know that's what I want to do. And for the longest, I was dealing with individuals that say, hey, that's a hard route to go. You don't need to do that, different things like that. But I started to believe in myself. And that's the one thing. If whatever you want to do, you have to have that ability to forego believing yourself. So with me believing in myself, it was okay with me stopping that and stopping the big mistake that I was doing just to get a degree, just to have a degree so I can have some type of job that I'm not going to actually like. And I stopped at that given moment. And after that, for that, 2014 to 2020, I was literally paying off my student loans. I worked at this job, McKinney Venture Coordinator. I'm the oldest of 7. Okay, a lot of people may not know that I'm the oldest of 7. I was literally making less than like my brothers and sisters that, some of them didn't even like go to college and everything. Like I was like literally, grinding it out. Like, and it was okay. Like I knew where I was going. Like I was only making $19,000 a year. That's it from that job. Then on top of that, I was doing Boys and Girls Club. I was helping out with the Boys and Girls Club, doing that, and working third shift at Bilo, and still doing my photography. So I had 4 jobs, paying off stuff. Car was paid off. At that time, I also decided to live at my mom's. So I didn't move out to my mom's, so I was more so around like 26. And I know for a man, it's this thing where I got to get on my own. I got to do these things. But if your parents are going to allow you to stay home to really build yourself, especially if you have a plan, and my mom knew I had a plan, take advantage of that time, because I was really able to really build my foundation in my business now because of that time. So at 26, I was still there. I ended up moving out, got a roommate, 3 roommates, and I was paying around like $750. That, went for like a year and a half, ended up meeting my wife. We moved. I ended up getting a house, paying, helping, getting the money for the down payment. So at the same time, I'm working hard, paying off my student loans, putting money aside to put down as a down payment for my house. So doing all these things at this early age. Did all of those. Ended up getting a mortgage that was the same amount as my apartment at that given time. So I was Gucci, $750. So at that time, I'm taking any extra income that I'm having and I'm just thugging it and throwing it towards the mortgage. Now, the great thing is, so in 2020, there was this thing when they paused the mortgages. That was really the thing that kind of helped me out the most. So I was able to take whatever I had and really throw at it. So in 2020, I'm just doing my photography business. At that time, weddings slightly down, but my corporate side is banging because a lot of people rebranding, different things like that. So I'm taking all this extra money that I'm doing, and a lot of people think like, oh, weddings is a big portion of this business. Nah, not really. Like the corporate side of photography is really good. It's really, really good. So the corporate side, that was really holding up my business. Then weddings and portraits are kind of equal when it comes to me. Then, after that, it's, family business, family photography and all that stuff. But on the corporate side, I really turned up on that. And I made enough income to really throw it within the business. And I was able to pay off all of those loans in 2020. And I want to say this, it is totally possible. I know we have the mortgage forgiveness, that's not mortgage forgiveness, Lord. I wish that was happening, honestly. But the student loan forgiveness is happening. And it may happen, it may not. They stated that it would happen. We're gonna see. We already, submitted our information. Well, I know some people have already submitted the information. That's great. If it follows through, that's awesome. But at the same time, if you have anything extra, literally, while it's paused, this is the best time to be paying on it. That's literally what I do, because if, he's only going to forgive up to $20,000, you got $30,000 left, this is the quickest time to pay it off. Like, I was literally able to pay off the rest of my student loans because of that. So if he's going to do it to $20,000 for you, get the other 10 or the other 5 knocked off while there's no interest. So I want to say that it's totally possible, and I did it. I'm a living example that, yes, I made a mistake believing others when I should have honestly believed in myself. And I allowed them to place me in a situation where I took out more student loans than what I should have done. That was me. Don't let that be you. And also make decisions. And I feel like this. A lot of students, when it comes to figuring out life, at 18, you have to go to college. You have to take all this money for student loans. You're still trying to figure out life itself. But I think it's one of those things where if we start pushing our kids to love their passions earlier, that's going to make income for them. So, and my mom was doing that. My mom was doing all the things, making me to, forcing me to really choose passion over anything else. But I got into a place where I allowed other people to push me away from my passion, and that cost me in the long run. So don't allow other individuals to push you out of your passion. Me and myself, my daughter, like, and my wife, like, if my daughter chooses to go to college, that's going to be amazing. If she chooses, because she's going to have a business, we're going to start working on that, like, really soon. So when she starts rolling into that and she wants to go right into her business and maybe go to a business institute or something like that, or no matter whatever it's going to be, we're going to choose that. So I'm going to make sure that I push her in her passion, and that the circle that's around her also is pushing her into that passion. So, that's one thing I'm gonna focus on, okay? When it comes to my kid and my house and our other little one that's coming as well. So I want to thank you all so much for listening to episode 2 on how I paid off $73,000 worth of student loan debt. I want to say this: keep focusing on your passion, because your passion is going to make the income for you. And when we do that, that is when the doors are going to open for us. As long as you stay away from your passion, you're never going to truly make income. Passion equals income, not day-to-day checks. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you all next week, and stay live.